Brody's Cause on the outside. Final furlong of the Claiborne Breeders' Futurity. Brody's Cause a final try. Brody's Cause and Corey Lannery a tremendous run. Brody's Cause at the 16th pole. Brody's Cause in front. Brody's Cause for Luis Saez to win the Toyota Bluegrass.
Hi everybody and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift, the Breeders' Farm. I'm Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo, and let's take a look at the field for Sunday's Spa Baby race. It is race number 3, 2-year-olds going 2 turns on the turf. Spendthrift represented by the number 4, Windfall Profit, by their sensational stallion, Malibu Moon. This is a full field, Nicole. We've got some first-time starters, we've got some experienced runners, and we've got one on the also eligible list that we're not going to discuss in depth, but if the 11 Sharing gets into the body of the race, you must consider that Spites Down filly.
Yeah, Sharing out of Shared Account, who was such a good turf mare. Certainly if Sharing draws in, I think she would merit a hard look. She ran well sprinting in her debut, and I think she wants every bit of the ground she would get on Sunday were she to draw in.
Well, we'll begin from the inside with a filly from the first crop of Triple Crown and Breeders' Cup Classic winner, American Pharoah. This is the number 1, Slip Sliding Away, a $145,000 buyback after breezing a furlong in 10-2 in May. There is a lot of turf on the bottom of this pedigree, Nicole, and American Pharoah has done very well with his turf progeny thus far. This filly could be a sleeper going 2 turns.
Yeah, he really has done well with his turf runners so far, and certainly we expect them to go longer. And he's already had a couple of mile and beyond turf maiden winners this summer, and the fillies Envied and Sweet Melania. A lot of depth on the female family to back this one up as well. Leading Astray, a graded winning turf router. She's a full sister to stakes winner Corrupt and a half to Sun Tracer and Free Fighter, both graded stakes winning turf routers. And Free Fighter set a course record going 1.5 miles, so plenty of route ability there as well.
And trainer Jimmy Toner is an excellent conditioner of turf horses. Slip Sliding Away might fall under the radar, 6-1 on the morning line. The number 2 is Micheline. This is a Godolphin homebred by Bernardini. This Damn Panty Raid was a really nice horse. Grade 1 winning router on both turf and synthetic. There is a lot of distance in this pedigree, but I'm just not sure I love the Bernardinis on turf.
You know, Bernardini I definitely think of as more of a dirt sire, but he and Panty Raid, as you mentioned, both should impart stamina. Panty Raid was really a multi-purpose runner, a grade 1 winner on turf and synthetic, a grade 2 winner on dirt, all of those races around 2 turns. She's a full sister to St. John's River, who was second in the Kentucky Oaks, but she's also a half sister to a French Stakes winner on the turf. And Micheline has just been turning at bullets, working at Fair Hill. 5 straight bullet works, none at less than 4 furlongs, and some of those on the synthetic track there, so she surely should handle the turf.
The number 3 is Leeway, going out for trainer Christophe Clement. This is a daughter of Stroll, who is a really good turf horse in his day and gets good first out turf runners. Nice mixture in this pedigree, as you see on this pedigree card. You get the turf influence from Stroll, but you also get a lot of class, dirt, and route ability on the bottom of this pedigree as well, and an interesting turf breeze on August the 4th.
Yeah, just, you know what? I see all those classy dirt routers in the female family, and I wonder if they just want to get this one going long, and turf is just the opportunity to do so right now. This Stone Farm homebred with Christophe Clement training, they'll certainly be taking their time with this one.
Stuart Janney, homebred's up next. That's the 4 Windfall Profit by Spendthrift stallion Malibu Moon, and this filly has a really sensational pedigree. She's a half to Profiteer, who is graded stakes placed routing on the turf. The Dam won 3 grade 3 stakes races routing on the turf, and this is the family of Honey Rider, who really wanted to go long on the turf. Shug McGahee sometimes likes to give him a race, but Windfall Profit might be well meant for this turf route.
You know, I sort of think so. Both sets of connections, the owner breeder and the trainer, have a reputation for taking their time with young horses, but this one just looks so classy. It wouldn't surprise me at all. She's got a similar pedigree scenario that we talked about a moment ago, where Malibu Moon, who is a son of AP Indy like Bernardini is, we think of him more as a dirt sire, but he should certainly impart the stamina. He does well with his juveniles, and damn, hit it, Rich. Such a nice turf mare from a nice turf family to balance out that durability while adding even more stamina.
Really fascinating pedigree on the number 5, Grand Chemin. This is a filly by the red-hot first-crop stallion Constitution. He's just been lighting it up with his progeny early this year, and there is a ton of turf on the bottom. The dam a half to Tombolaine, who was a nice horse in France and has sort of been an optional claiming listed horse in America. The dam's also a half to Calamosa stakes winning turf rider. How do you think the Constitutions will ultimately fare on turf?
Well, Constitutions by Tappet, who of course can get them to run on anything. He's had Tappet's Fly, the Grade 1 winning turf mare. A couple of his Eclipse Award champions have run very well on synthetic. And Constitution has sired a couple of nice turf horses already, including Our Country, who was a maiden winner going 2 turns on the Saratoga turf last week. So I do think that Constitution, the leading freshman sire right now over American Pharoah, I do think his runners will continue to perform on the turf when they're spotted right. And also the Engelhart barn is red hot as well this summer.
Just taking a peek at the pedigree in your PPs, I would have thought the 6 Hard 1 really would have this giant turf pedigree. We know Hard Spun can get a turf runner, and this dam's out of a Giant's Causeway mare. But when you dig deep to the 6 Hard 1, a $50,000 April 2-year-old in training purchase, there's a lot of dirt here as we put up the pedigree card for Hard 1. The dam a full to First Passage, a graded stakes winning sprinter. The second dam a multiple stakes winning dirt router. So maybe appearances can be deceiving on paper, and this horse is just looking for a race around 2 turns.
A little bit, yeah. And as we said, your 2-turn opportunities with the 2-year-olds right now are on the turf. That being said, Hard Spun by Danzig was a graded winner on synthetic himself. Another one who's more of a dirt sire, but he does have Hard Not to Like, who won the Diana, a Randwick Guineas winner overseas, and a lot of his best progeny do run long, which balances out the speed on the bottom side of the family. You mentioned that the dam is a foal of the graded winning sprinter First Passage, and this is the family of some other really quick horses, including grade winner Harmony Lodge.
We always mention on these Spa Baby segments that experience counts, and the number 7 Morning Gold has the right kind of experience. She made her debut earlier this meet in a 2-turn race for a barn that doesn't usually win first out, and was a very respectable second behind the aforementioned Sweet Melania, a daughter of American Pharoah. That filly had the experience edge on Morning Gold in that race. Ken McPeak's horses do very well second time out, and as we see from this family, tons of class. Wow, big name in Seeking the Gold.
Yeah, definitely. Not only Seeking the Gold, who is a grade 1 winner and a leading sire, but the family of Fast Play, who is a grade 1 winning juvenile. You mentioned that very nice effort behind Sweet Melania, who had been knocking on the door with some on-the-board finishes before stretching out to break her maiden. She seems like a nice filly. So a good effort behind that one, but kind of an interesting work pattern for Morning Gold, both before and after that debut. She last worked on June 29th prior to that race on July 14th, and has just one work since on August 4th.
The number 8 is Appurate. I wonder if Todd Pletcher was just prepping this filly on the dirt in that sprint race earlier in the meet. She's by First Crop Stallion's Summer Front. Summer Front was a really nice middle distance turf horse, and there's just turf on the bottom. The dam a half to Todd's grade 2 stakes winner Azar, who was a good 2-year-old, the family of Woodlander. And Appurate, to me, is the kind of filly that can show important early speed stretching out to 2 turns. And here's a formulator fact for Pletcher that many folks may not know about. Past 3 years, 2-year-old second-time starters moving from dirt to turf and sprint to route in maiden special weights, 4 for 9, a 348 ROI. I have a feeling Appurate's been waiting to go long on the turf.
Yeah, I certainly think that this one wants to go longer than the 5.5 furlongs she ran on debut, and this is what I think the Summer Fronts want to do. I think they will have juvenile ability, as Summerfront is by the international leading juvenile sire Warfront. But I do think that they'll want to go a bit longer, and I think they'll certainly want to run on turf. You mentioned Azar, who Todd Pletcher trained in the immediate family. He won the Grade 2 with anticipation on the Saratoga turf, placed in the Pilgrim later on in the fall at Belmont. Just a terrific, solid juvenile turf pedigree behind this horse.
The number 9 is Revelment, going out for trainer Barclay Tagg, who sent out a sizzling debut winner on the dirt on Thursday afternoon. Now, Revelment is bred for turf, being by grass champion English Channel, who of course does well with his first turf sires. But this dam is a half to a big, big name. Heart to Heart was heart he, to say the least, a multiple Grade 1 stakes winner on the turf. A couple of really interesting turf workouts. We always urge our friends at home to check out the Mike Welsh Clocker Report, but in digging up an old Welsh Clocker Report, it looks like Revelment, that July 19th work, went in company with Nico's Dream, an older New York bred who was stakes placed off the work with a 72 buyer. Barclay Tagg's on fire right now, and this horse is certainly bred to appreciate the grass.
Oh, absolutely. Not only by English Channel, obviously a turf champion, but bred on a similar cross to Heart, who's also by English Channel. And how cool is Heart? Just a speedy, gritty horse who can carry his speed. I do like the English Channels as they get a little bit older, although we certainly have a ton of distance ability on this page.
Versatile family for the 10, Catherineofaragon, the final horse in the main body of this field. This is a filly by Bodemeister, who does well with first turf runners, 12%. The dam was not only a graded stakes winner on dirt as a 2-year-old, but she also was a first turf winner, and this dam's been very productive. She's foaled a graded winner on synthetic, a multiple graded placed horse on the turf. A little bit of everything for Catherineofaragon in this pedigree. This outside post does concern me a little bit going the 2 turns.
It does a little bit. She'll really have to work out a trip into that first turn and then perhaps deal with some traffic. But as you mentioned, she's a half to Chief Havoc, who was a graded winner on synthetic, a half to Special Event, multiple graded placed on the turf. A very good, deep female family, as her second dam is Champion Queena. Grade 1 class on both dirt and turf in that family. It's an active family right now.
Wide open race number 3 at the Spa on Saturday. Maiden special weight, 2-year-old fillies going 8.5 on the turf. Who do you like?
Man, I think this is a very wide open race. I think on paper, Apurate for Todd Pletcher and Johnny Velasquez and Micheline, who has been working those bullets at Fair Hill, should both be ready to fire first out and are both bred to want to go 2 turns on the turf. That said, this isn't a spot where I think a lot of them have severe pedigree vulnerabilities. Slip Sliding Away and Gren Shemin are by the 2 hottest freshman sires out there and bear watching. And Windfall Profit, as we said, the barn usually takes their time with juveniles, but this one just looks so classy. She could just fire even if she's not fully cranked. I think it's a wide open race, and I think this is one where you're going to want to, unless you're playing the multi-race wagers, you're going to want to wait as long as you can and really watch the board and watch these horses in the paddock.
And as we said, if the 11 Sharing does happen to get into the body of the race, she to me would be a must-use. I'm going with Spendthrift's Windfall Profit by the Spendthrift Stallion Malibu Moon. Janny Homebred does have that strong turf pedigree. I have a feeling Shug's going to have her ready to roll. I also want to use a heaping helping of the 7 Morning Gold, that experienced filly coming off that good debut. And then maybe underneath, I'd use the Tag Firster Revelment by English Channel and the American Pharaoh Firster Slip Sliding Away. 4791 for me in Sunday's Spa Baby Race, presented by Spendthrift, the Breeders' Farm.